What if I told you that right now the government might be calculating a surprise tax bill for your business, and the only way you'll find out is when a letter shows up at your door demanding $38,000? Well, the government's awesome at that, and most founders learn the hard way. The moment you hire someone in another state, you've entered a compliance maze that actively designed to punish you for not knowing the rules. But with AI, it can see the trap before you fall in. An AI that watches every state's payroll tax in real time, flags the change before it costs you, and rebalances your payroll spend automatically. That technology is being built right now. So what's the most expensive thing in your business right now that you don't even know you don't know? Welcome to AI for Founders. I'm Ryan Estes. Today's guest is John, founder of CogNet HRO. And this episode is for founders who are scaling fast, hiring across states, and realizing that HR, payroll, and compliance are quietly eating their company alive. If you want to understand how AI is reshaping outsourced HR from the inside out, and how to stop getting blindsided by regulatory surprises, this one's for you. And if you want more insights like this delivered straight to your inbox, head over to aiforfounders.co and join thousands of founders who refuse to be caught off guard. AI intelligence that gives you unfair advantages. Subscribe today, aiforfounders.co. And if this show's ever saved you a painful surprise, the least you can do is give us a 5-star review. And you know what? That one's totally tax-free. And now a word from our sponsor, because if you're building a company and you don't own your audience, you don't own your future. Inboxalchemy.co is the #1 distribution motion for founders who are done renting attention from algorithms and ready to own it. We're talking a targeted email newsletter that builds your personal brand, speaks directly to your ideal customer, and delivers 25,000 verified subscribers in your first 6 months, guaranteed. Weekly founder newsletters, strategic partnership opportunities, and a growth engine that compounds while you sleep. Your audience is your asset, your inbox is your empire. Stop building on borrowed land. Go to inboxalchemy.co right now and turn your expertise into an audience that's yours for life. That's inboxalchemy.co. All right, John, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. It's a Monday. I love to kick the week off with a good conversation, so I can't wait for this one.
Nothing better than starting off a week with a podcast, right?
Yeah. Well, especially, 11:30 a.m. is about the time when my gears start working. Anytime before that, I'm no good,
Did you eat before?
No, I'm a latte guy in the morning. I don't do breakfast because breakfast will kind of slows me down. How about you? Are you a breakfast in the morning guy?
Absolutely. Bright and early.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. I wish, because I love breakfast foods more than anything. I've been experimenting with this new breakfast burrito spring roll. So you take all the goods, you got the eggs, the hash browns, the bacon, and some cheese, and then you put it into like a rice paper, and then make like a spring roll, and then put it into the air fryer, mist it with a little avocado oil, and crisp it up. It's so good.
Just happy you put the avocado oil on it to give it one healthy ingredient, so that I know that it met that need as well.
Well, hey, fat's good for you, right? That's what they've been telling me.
Absolutely.
When health food becomes cook a steak and melt cheese over it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've died and gone to heaven.
Yeah.
Turns out I've been the picture of health and fitness my entire life.
Well, welcome to Colorado.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. John, why don't you begin by giving us kind of an overview of your company, CogNet. And people can find it at cognethro.com, but give us an introduction to the tool.
Sure. We're a traditional business process outsourcer. We're more the BPM or management space now, because we're bringing AI and technology to the forefront on top of BPO services. So my history simplistically is I've been in the HR outsourcing business all my life. We won't talk about how many years of experience that entails. Been doing business in India for about 20 years. We've been in business about 20 years as well. CogNet was kind of founded on the fact that I was a client at one time and had a vendor in India, learned my way through that, went to another company. We turned it around, sold it. The buyer did not want the offshore element. So basically I kept the best 10, 15 people I have. Today, honestly, I still have most of those people. Right. They're in senior management today, which is a good story. They've stuck with us and we've been very lucky to have them. Over that 20 years, you've seen a lot of change, obviously. Where we are now is in our space. AI is impeding whether you like it or not. Our philosophy recently has been that it's coming whether we like it or not. So we've started to develop on top of our traditional services. Let's say we process payroll for people. The AI side of that is, okay, great. We need to compare last week to this week very quickly and make sure that it's in good shape. We've got a tool to do that instantly while they're sitting there in the session. So the hard part of this was, and we were just talking about it prior, the sensitivity of the data. We have a lot of PHI and data you cannot share with a LLM. So we have started developing our own internal tool set called Drive. Its sole purpose in life is to ingest anything, and then we decide what to do with it, whether that be with AI, robotics, LLMs, which we don't use as much of, but we had to have that on our own platform. There was no way our clients would ever want their data running around in our friend's Claude or anything like it.
Amazing. So let's hover on merchant service, or not merchant service processing, but payroll processing. Because this is a sticky one for founders. It's reared its head at me, largely because there's always changes that are happening all the time, and it seems like a perfect application for AI from your standpoint. Because, say for example, employee tax, or what am I trying to say? Workman's comp insurance, that kind of thing. It changes by industry. It changes by time. So, my previous business, it was a tech company. So I think we were at 1.7. And then after COVID, everybody went on unemployment. And so it jumped up to like 4.5. And I never knew about it. And that created a differential that the state of Colorado was happy to inform me that I owed them a check. So that sounds like a good application where AI could kind of like keep an eye on like statutes and like percentage increases or decreases so that founders can adjust their payroll spend accordingly.
By the way, we have a lot of clients who are in the professional employment organization business, or PEOs, and they're managing, for example, state unemployment. The downfall is the data from the state isn't as accessible as you'd like it to be. But you've kind of come across a great use example there that's not mature yet, won't be there. But hey, can I get my claims electronically and basically recalculate my rate at all times? That recalculates annually. So every year, like you got a surprise bill. Hey, we want all this money, or we'll lien against your house, or whatever it is we got to do to get your money. But what I love about jurisdictions, especially, is that they're not asking; they want the money. So you find out the hard way. And we see, like California, let's just be honest. California, it changes by the minute. So we have a lot of clients who have sophisticated platforms. We do not run HR platforms. We're agnostic to that type of technology. Whatever our clients, who are mostly bureaus or providers, are using, we use. A lot of those systems aren't compliant. And come back to the big, beautiful bill, if you will. The use of overtime and all that, the systems are not ready for that. Some are more so and some are less. So the examples are laying around from a compliance perspective, specifically payroll and payroll tax, for AI to jump in there. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the big providers, ADP, Paycor, let's go down the list. They all have an AI tool. Right now, it's a bot. You can ask it a couple of questions. We have a partner who rolled out an AI payroll tool. It was supposed to compare to last week and say, hey, where am I? It's not there yet. But the complexity that comes with payroll is ripe. It's going to bring AI to the forefront, as long as they're careful about handling the data.
Yeah. Second time founders are listening to this with a careful ear to hear exactly what you kind of can do for them, because HR, payroll, insurance, these are the kind of things that make you want to jump in a well as a startup founder. Because, startup founders have an idea. They want to bring it to the world. They want to inspire the team. They want to help their customers, delight their customers. And then what you get hit with right in the mouth is like, oh, you're responsible for everyone's insurance. Oh, you have all these disclosures. Oh, you have to figure out how to not only make payroll, but deal with all the payroll and insurance and all these things. And, for the folks that are just kind of starting out right now, brace yourself. It's awful. I mean, and
It
that's
is.
why I love this category of business, because ultimately, you can be like kind of a saving grace for folks that are like, dude, I just don't want to deal with this.
Yep. And our clients are as well. The PEO spaces we're talking about 50 and under or new starts and founders like we're talking about, they belong there. They'll take care of your tax, your payroll, your benefits. They'll provide you benefits you can't even get.
Yeah.
You won't be able to even achieve that. And that's why we like them as our clients as well. But it's the first tax notice that you get, and you will get one. That's the little wake up call, and knowing what to do with that, and or a garnishment, or let's just go down the list of surprises that sit around in this space. If I've started up a few companies doing today, there's no way I'd do this internally. It's just not value add enough, and it will suck up a lot of your time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really challenging, ticky tacky part. You get those letters, whether it's from the IRS or you get a letter from the state, and you're just like trying to interpret, like, what are they telling me I need to do? This looks like it's a bill for $38,000. Like, what's happening right now? That is a wake up call.
Yeah. By the way, they only send letters. So let's be clear about that. Yeah. Forget the 20 email scams I get a day. Realize my background was being a CFO. So, I just look at the scams I get on a daily basis and just shake my head, like, seriously. But I do know there are really smart people out there that fall down that hole.
Yeah.
And in this example, they just don't understand, the HR side of things. And that's the way it goes. And some of them can fall into the wrong place quickly.
Absolutely. So as I'm looking at your website a little bit, services, sales and underwriting support, payroll services, benefits and H&R, or benefits and HR, finance and accounting, tax services, HRIS implementation. I'm not sure what that is. And then you have automation between all of those things. So, if we're talking to startup founders, they got a small team, they're starting to grow, they're starting to fill out sales, they're getting fulfillment, customer success. When's a good point for them to reach out to you to see kind of how you can help their organization?
I'd say, anytime, of course, is my first CEO hat answer. But as you get complexity, I'd say when you fall into more than one state too, that's when it really becomes different and unique. In the post-COVID world of we work from everywhere and we don't care, you find yourself in 5 states, even if it's 5 people, you've gotten yourself in a whole different ballgame now from a compliance perspective. So I would say that that's usually your indicator that, hey, I might have gotten myself in over my head just a little bit here.
John, where were you 6 years ago?
Colorado is always a lot of fun, by the way.
Oh my gosh, Colorado!
I live in Florida. We have no income tax and not much going on, but it does matter because you get multi-state, and get some size from an employee perspective that you got to think ahead on your services.
South Carolina seems to be problematic for some reason. I'm not sure, but I always got letters with those guys. Yeah, interesting. And then what about internationally? I mean, we're starting to even look outside of the state borders and looking at talent all over the place. Is there what are maybe some pitfalls that founders overlook?
Well, I'll tell you, as an employer in India of quite a few people, probably over 600 today, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And it's not here. And now what you will find, there is a product out there that you can find called employer of record. So you have vendors all around the world. Basically, they'll just employ the person for you. But that gets you through. I mean, if you've decided that you want to educate yourself on Malaysian employment law, go for it. Yeah. But if you find somebody in Kuala Lumpur that you want to work for you, an EOR will actually employ them and take care of everything locally. And then you direct them and tell them what you want them to do. That's an excellent product for somebody who wants to look at international employment.
You bet. Hey, do you guys do employment of record?
We do not, actually. We're quite the opposite. So everybody I have works for me, and we do work on behalf of our clients.
Yeah. Is there exposure if founders are just using contractors? Or, there's a bunch of different services like that, assistants, working part-time, things like that?
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I'm going to use what I know in India, the laws on contractors are very strict. So that doesn't mean you're not doing business with one. You may not be doing so legally. I would caution people in all markets. I'm not going to pick on Asia or South America, any place in particular. Uh, be wary of whether that person's actually doing the work. So, I've seen, especially in technology, where people, hey, I hired this great guy in India and he's doing all this coding for me. He might or might not be doing that coding.
He hired a guy in Philippines.
And you're gonna find out that the quality of the work of the person the hard way. So
Yeah.
International is tough. So be cautious with it. If you can find somebody to lay liability off on, like an EOR, do it.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. And you guys have a fleet of different services. What's the business model? Do you have kind of like a core offer and you have expands and upsells? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I coined it. I wish I would have service marked this years ago. I call it land and expand. So typically, most of our clients are providers of services. So we'll come in and if their current problem is a tax problem, we'll solve that problem. And so, by the way, here's our other areas. You mentioned them. Those are our practice areas. We're actually internally organized that way. So I have a payroll practice with a payroll leader who's been doing that, 15 years and knows everything more than I've probably forgotten. So as you look through our service model, finance kind of fell because I used to be a CFO. So that's not a tough one. Benefits, and there are just other HR transactions as well. I-9, let's go down the list. We built that by functional area versus client by client.
Yeah. Okay. So do most people kind of come in the front door for tax preparation?
I'd tell you right now, a lot do. Yeah. And then,
April
sales
8th,
supports,
right? Or April 6th.
Because they've got a problem.
Yeah.
And it's because like you, I got that $38,000 letter. Oh my God. Do I hire an attorney for $600 an hour to figure this out for me? What are my options? Or how do I, as we say, we're an ISO 9001 shop too. We're process driven. The biggie is how do I make sure it doesn't happen again?
100%. Awesome. So now, did I hear you correctly that you've been living in India for 20 years?
Oh, no. I've been doing business. I live in Orlando, actually. So.
Oh, okay. I was like,
right now, my biggest problem is getting to India because I actually need to go.
Yeah.
There's a small little excursion going on over there that is causing me problems from a flight's perspective. So we're trying to figure that out right now, actually.
Is this related to the whole Iran thing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I fly Emirates. So,
yeah,
as you can imagine, that's not happening right now.
There's not a lot of flights going on. Interesting. So you're based in Florida and your team is in India.
Yes.
Cool. And how big's the team?
600.
600. Incredible. Quick side note for founders who are using AI to write content. You've probably noticed this. It's incredibly fast, but it doesn't really drive meaningful traffic. And honestly, that's because most AI-generated content is just average. There's no real insight, no depth, no structure. Missing things like internal linking, and Google's getting very good at filtering that out. So instead of trying to just prompt better, I actually came across something interesting called Nina. It's a system that combines human strategy and review with AI writing to create high-quality, SEO-optimized blog content that's actually designed to rank and keep ranking. What I like about it is that it's done for me. Their team handles the topic strategy and the content review and data markups for Google and turns blog posts into actual long-term traffic assets. So if you're a founder thinking seriously about organic growth, this is one of those things worth paying attention to. You can check it out at trynina.co. That's TRYNINA.co, trynina.co. While you were recording your last episode, Casey Taylor was out there pitching your podcast to brands and securing sponsorship deals. Well, she's not yet, but she could be. Casey is Howdy's AI partnership agent, and she does something pretty wild. She actually secures sponsorships for your show, not a match list that you have to work through yourself, not a template you have to send. She handles the outreach, the follow-up, the whole thing, and brings back partners. You started your podcast because you had something worth saying. Casey makes sure that you get paid for saying it. Go meet Casey at gethowdy.com. That's GETHOWDI.com. 2 minutes to get started, then Casey takes it from there. That's Howdy Partnerships, gethowdy.com. And talk a little bit about...
We went from 67 to over 600 in the last 3-4 years.
Wow. That's insane growth. Wait, you're like 3Xing every year over the last couple of years? Is that...
Well, 100, over 100. We're on the 5,000 list coming up for the third year in a row. Hopefully, I'll give my pitch right there. But yeah, you know, and I hate to, you know, I was in this industry and I had all the people that I knew within it. The story side of this was COVID. I quit my day job during COVID and said, I'm going to go do this all day, every day. I wonder what would happen. It's turned out good so far. That's for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So 0 to 60 in about 2 years, and then 60 to 600 in another 3 years. Talk about the growth. Like, how did you kind of like, what's the sales process like? Where's your acquisition coming from?
Yeah, it's honestly because I spent 30, X years in the industry. It's a lot of it's people that I know.
Yeah.
We're finally getting ourselves to a point where it's referral based. With a complex product like we have, I used to joke like standing in the booth and saying, "Hey, do you want to outsource a bunch of stuff to India?" That is not what you call an easy sale. I'm not selling fruit or anything like that. This is a longer term, more sophisticated sale. And we've been very lucky. And now what we're looking at is kind of branching out a little bit. We only do HR. So I've always said we're going to stay in our lane. It's very tempting to take anything. Hey, I'll do, just a big accounts payable deal. No, you let the big guys have that. They know what they're doing there. We stick to our niche, and we're just getting broader. So staffing is one thing that we're looking at today, on top of that.
Cool. And your niche, is it like startups and SMBs?
Absolutely. Actually, we love startups because they can grow into us. We tell them, when it's a mature model, and I have both client-facing people and my own back office, let's say, it's hard to get that to move. It's a little bit harder. When they're client-facing because they're small and they're growing like crazy, you say, great, just grow with us. Scale is one of the things we're here to provide. Somebody on the upside of growth, that's a very easy decision for them. They just stay client-facing and keep it there. For your mature business, it's a bigger shift because there's the cultural aspect that you have to manage. And people don't understand. You got to manage culture on both sides. We have a lot of really educated people. They don't like, I used to go to call centers in India and I would laugh like, I know the US person's irritated. They've hung up, pissed off, they didn't go well. It happens on that end too. They're like, I have a master's degree. Really? I don't have to take this crap from you.
Yeah.
So I've been lucky enough to see both sides of that equation. It's been very educational for me.
Yeah. I mean, Indian people are incredibly impressive. Not to stereotype or whatever, but like I have the great fortune to work with a lot of folks from India, and they're incredible.
It's the reason we're there. People ask us, why not Philippines? Why not Costa Rica? Why not here? Why not there? And one of my founders who runs the India operation, his wife works for a very large outsourcing firm, and they're all over the world as well, near and far shore. India, the bottom line is betting on the education system. It's a fantastic education system. The quality of the kids that we hire out of school are really good. There are some quirks that are, things that you have to work through, but you have to learn within your market. Where we see now going is applying technology on top of that. That's the other part of why India, the tech talent's there. Now, in AI land, what you're finding out is there's no seasoned experts on these tools, unless you're going to steal somebody from Anthropic or, whatever, and you can't afford that. So one of the reasons why we've gone where we got is the talent's laying there to build a tech stack. Let's build it. And let's apply it to the sides of client who can't afford to do it and doesn't have an IT person or an IT department big enough. I think the race here at AI is that everybody's messing with it. Is anybody proving they have an ROI on it? No, not yet.
Yeah, and that's where I think like AI can be very instrumental. Is just internally, particularly with workflows for administrative purposes.
Mm.
I'm assuming with like startups and SMBs that they've got a long way to go infrastructure wise before they're trying to develop AI tools. It's like, hey, we can do
Yeah.
some simple automations that might make your world a lot easier. But also, just when you have a suite of administrative kind of services, all they want is just make this easier for me, which you apply and just like, hey, it just works like magic. We're not reinventing the wheel. You don't need to like, you know, create a picture of dinosaurs having a picnic. Rather, you're like, just give me the information I need as fast as I can get it, and let me work it out. Right. So, all those tools are kind of like available now. And the great thing about it is we can just learn from what is successful. So the second that somebody finds a workflow that's, amazing, then like you can implement that into yours. I think we're going to a place now too where, well, there'll be marketplaces of agents for very specific tasks. So it's like, hey, I want to tag everything in QuickBooks over here, and I want it to connect to, Monday over here. And like all those things, a very specialized tool, we can just go pick that up, plug it into our business. But that's a little ways away.
Yeah, and there's a real intonation point there too. We see it where we use robotics as well. When it's not all AI, but great AI might have collected the data, got us here. Okay, now I just need to do 5 steps with it over and over and over again. Robots are very efficient at that. Payroll automate and the tools that are already out there today, they're very good at it. They also don't expose the data. They're simply doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we'll have projects come in where, okay, great, we'll spool up 18 robots on Amazon, on AWS, and let them go rock and roll on this and knock it out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Where it led for us, or where people need to think their way through, is size. So I had a project where, okay, I'm moving from one payroll provider to another. Oh, crap, I forgot all those PDFs that I have out there. My W-2s, my W-4s, my I-9s, the benefits sign-up form, whatever. I need to move them from here to there. We could do a small project with humans. We'll just put people on it, and work overtime and get it done. If you brought us a 500,000 document project, we couldn't do it. Where we went with that is more robotic and less AI.
Yeah.
So people have to decide their tool set. It really does matter. And also, what's the sensitivity of the data that you're touching?
Yeah. If we're talking about finances, it's very sensitive.
Yeah. I mean, for you, for example, probably don't want your bank account number and social security number around through ChatGPT or anything like that.
Or Claude.
And people, or Claude. Well, Claude was blackmailing people in their test bed. So that was, we find it, I went to an AI conference last year in Vegas, AI4. It was fantastic. Hallucination was one of the things we talked about. We see it in our practice today, meaning I've set it up and it worked perfect. I have it doing exactly what I want it to do now. Okay, next week comes in and we run it again, and now it makes mistakes. Because it's trying to learn at all times and do things slightly different, we're having to monitor it. Or it's hallucinated and it's read the wrong thing and it doesn't understand what it's seeing, and it comes out with an output that makes no sense to you. So that the tech itself has a ways to go, but the practicality is you have to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of got to babysit it, right? It's like the agents are all shiny and new and they're great, and then a model changes and then it's broken and you're like, I got to go rebuild it.
And is what the agent doing for you matter? I know there's some really cool stuff, and maybe it could set some appointments for me or whatever it's doing. I have some staffing clients. I'll give you an example of recruiting, finding people. The AI exists to recruit somebody, contact them, set them up an interview. Some of them can interview them probably. So that works great if you're looking for warehouse workers. If you're looking for physicians, yeah, that's where there's a line between where the human needs to jump into the process. Can I have the AI do the legwork for me, which is the answer is of course. And then where do I need to step in and take care of the human element?
Yeah. It's interesting too. It's like, in the beginning it was like, oh, AI is going to take our jobs, but it looks like a lot more. It's kind of like reshaping the nature of the job, where you used to be kind of an individual contributor or operator, and now you're more of a manager. So if you're building like automations and agents that kind of take some of the data entry load off your shoulders, and that's just, if you're a creative, that data entry, it might be deeply entwined with your identity. creating things. Now we're using AI to create things, and we're more like giving them tasks, which I think is really challenging to a lot of people of like, I don't know if I want to be a manager. I like doing the thing,
You remember that day when they said, "Oh, congratulations, you have 20 people working for you"? It was the worst day.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't tell me why it didn't pay more than it should.
Yeah,
But
totally.
yeah, and I'll tell you, as an old financial person, that's where it's really going to hit hard first is the accounting department.
Yeah.
That there is, it's people, spreadsheets, and systems. AI is very effective at figuring those things out. Let's say something as simple as a bank reconciliation. So, we do some for some clients, but we're building tools to do them, knowing that it's coming anyway.
Yeah, 100%. Man, I am still just taken aback of, 5, 6 years, 0 to 600 person team.
Well, no, there was 15 years of pretty flat there before then. So, yeah, it's been the last 5 years where we've really grown quite a bit.
15 years, kind of a side thing, and you still had kind of a...
You know what? Yeah, I had a day job, and we did this on the side, and we had friends as clients, which was great. And I'll tell you, that's been the struggle of our organization. And anybody that's, as a founder, I'm in the same place anybody else is. Hey, am I in the way now? Are we getting so big, or is it going in a trajectory where somebody else could be as effective, more effective, or differently effective? I guess, and that's kind of what happens with the growth. You have to re-examine. Ours was build technology first and foremost, and a lot of internal technology. We have a lot of pretty sophisticated internal technology from a productivity perspective. To say, because we've grown, how effective are we? If I'm not more effective than my client at the task, then what? They don't need me.
Yeah. So why not? Why not hire a CEO and go chill on a beautiful boat and do some fishing?
Because my golf game sucks. I have a really nice boat and I can't catch anything, catch cold. My dad's in his late 80s, and he and I talk quite a bit, and he's like, "What would you do?" I don't have an answer to that question yet. So I will tell you, I spent, and I don't know what your career background was, but I was a CFO, and I did a lot for other people. I was good at it. I didn't love it. Doing what we're doing now in the last 5 years, I love every second of it. So doing something else has yet to even come close to occur to me yet.
Cool. Amazing. So any idea what revenue per employee is?
Yeah, but we're private, so I'm going to stay away from that one.
Ballpark.
I'll tell
Come
you
on,
what,
John, we want to know.
I'll tell you how we price. It's that simple. We price by the person, by the seat. So it's $2,000 per month. So 24 a year.
22,000 per month. How many clients?
About 60.
60. Amazing. Great business.
It's not an easy one. It's one of, it's my personality a little bit too. It's one of the ones, you guys will never be able to do that. People in India will never understand the complexities of what's going on in HR from a U.S. perspective. And that my answer was no, they can't.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we compete against a model. There's a model out here in outsourcing land where, hey, I'll just find you the people in India, and then you can train them and teach them and, manage them. I just found them for you. What people ask, what's different about us? We already know everything. We've been doing this for 20 years. My tax guy knows more about tax than I do, which is good. That's the way it should be. So we don't need training. We just need you to show us how the process goes and what it is you want us to do.
Yeah. Well, that kind of growth with basically zero marketing, it sounds like. I mean, that's how it's basically your validation right there. Because ultimately, I have never had a good tax preparer ever. I've been through a half dozen. It's awful. I'm jumping around. I shouldn't say that. I had a pretty good outfit last year, but it's, I don't know why it's such a big demand. So when you find somebody good, hold on to dear life, it's like, okay, cool. I can trust you. And again, I think it's because it's so scary and it's so out of the wheelhouse for most founder CEOs,
Yeah, I think you hit a point there from a founder perspective. I'm going to see my my attorney, and he and I own a place here in Florida at the beach, and he's in Fort Collins, so he's not too far from you.
Nice.
Uh, but I've known him 25, 30 years, and he's excellent. So when you have those three or four people, whether it be your tax person, your attorney, uh, our chief operating officer and president used to be my boss at one of my last jobs.
Cool.
He was CEO. He and I reconnected 5, 6 years ago, and I was like, "Are you kidding? Though you think I want to do operations? Are you out of your mind?" Yes. When can you start? Uh, so I do find, I don't know if you have in your endeavors, but you got 3, 4, 5 people around that are really good, that you trust. You're doing pretty good. And in our case, also my business partner in India, if you're going to be offshore, that person's got to be an owner, and you got to trust them with your life.
Yeah.
And you really need to know them. People I hear, I have a large company client friend who's like, "Hey, we're just going to go to India, open our own office. I'm sure it's easy. Somebody told me it's easy." I'm like, "Oh, you have no idea."
Like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. It'll take you 18 months and a bunch of bribes to get incorporated, but other than that, it'll all work out very easily. It's things that are hard for a reason. Whereas equally, I tell them, "Hey, I can start an LLC in Florida on this computer in the next 15 minutes for a couple $100." And nobody believes that either. So it does make me realize how doing business in our market is quite different.
Yeah, I love that. You need like a small team around you, like a pirate ship crew. You gotta have the tax guy. You gotta have the attorney, man. Any business attorneys too. I could use one of those as well. What else? You gotta have like the massage therapist. That's a real good one. I mean,
Or a therapist.
yeah, personal therapist. I can't find a good one there either. Let's see. A good general practitioner doctor. I'm looking for another one of those. I'm realizing that I'm out to sea without a crew. Like, what am I gonna?
And there are, I'm in this business. Outsourcing some of that makes sense too.
Yeah.
Find vendors you trust and people that you trust, and go by referral. You asked about our model. A lot of it's referral.
Yeah.
It's people that I trust that trust me or trust somebody I know. And you can't beat that in starting up any kind of business.
Yeah. Well, and I love that aspect of like, basically we're just doing kind of a Zoom call here with Descript, but like, that's just across the board. It's like, if I have to go see my general practitioner, and that's kind of the hang up, it's like, look, I want to get blood work done on my terms, send you the thing, you send me back. With like the fact that I have to go to an office and show up and you look in my ear and like, you know what I mean? It's like, it feels dated, so like a lot of these models are changing, which is great because it opens up the talent that you can pull for your pirate ship from all across the planet, which is amazing.
Yeah, we use a lot of chat in our day-to-day interactions with clients, and we love it. And we find that's what they want. They don't want to call us.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no. The world changed tremendously quickly.
Yeah. All right, John, we're ready to go into the quantum round. Are you ready?
I'll try.
All right. First question: why is ADP so terrible?
Oh my God. Yes. I'm going to divulge my girlfriend's ADP client, so I get to listen to this all the time. Because my answer is simply because they want to be. They're the big boy. Here's our service model. Here's our 5 or 6 boxes, and here's how they work. If you don't like that, then maybe you should go someplace else. But that's how you build that kind of profitability and scale in the payroll business. So
yeah,
it's by design.
And I don't generally trash companies, but ADP has done me terribly over the years, and so QuickBooks too, just awful. It's just like, boy.
I'm with you. I'm a QuickBooks guy forever. A lot of my clients are. So yes, I agree with you there too. Like, what do I got to do to get this? And unfortunately, with QuickBooks, I got a call. And there's nothing I hate more than that.
Yeah. Well, in QuickBooks, it's like, how do I just get in to get something without 17 pop-ups trying to sell me something new? It's like, come on, where's my dashboard? You're always moving it around.
And if they change the damn look and feel one more time, I swear. That's it.
It's like a panic every time I log in. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? Oh my God, where'd everything go?
Yeah, we have our new AI tool. That's great. It's just why I just want an income statement by month. How hard can this be?
Exactly. Cool. What experiments are you running with AI right now, or what are you tinkering around with?
So our own system that we call Drive, we're pointing it in four or five directions. Originally, I'll tell you, this is where I want to be a little different in that it was easy for us to say internally, hey, let's take this. We do this for 20 clients. Let's automate it and be more effective and make more money. Where we are now is, hey, let's just talk to the client and be upfront. Well, there's a different economic model for it. It's software. It's software with ongoing support. It might be less money for me, but it's coming anyway. So, they've been cruising around looking at Copilot, looking at different things in their business that we could do together. So, we're taking that from practical perspective and say, what's our biggest volume problem, and working our way down. Where I think that leads us to in the future is leading with that as the sale.
Yeah.
Uh, Instead of, hey, you've got five people in your HR department, I got five, we'll do the work, don't worry about it. It's, hey, I've got some technology that can, take care of what three of them are doing already, and they can go do something that adds a lot more value to our organization.
Yeah. They could build customized tools, dashboards, and just plug into your information, into your API essentially, and you become kind of the backbone for the data, but also for the compliance and just the privacy, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned ADP because the funny thing, the HR business nobody wants to talk about, they make it hard to leave. So you're never going to get your data in a usable format ever.
Yeah.
You're going to get here's your stuff. Good luck. And the minute you terminate, you're screwed because you're going to be turned off in 30 days. The tools that are starting to exist, like the tool we developed, can ingest that data pretty quickly. Run your last payroll register. We can ingest that. It's going to be sitting around in a JSON file. And what do you want to do with it? Tell us where you want it to go. You had said earlier about our HRS implementation group. That's what they do. So we help people move from A to B.
Love it. Okay. So, let's say CogNet, someone shows up at your front steps with a duffel bag of gold bars and they want to buy CogNet. You're like, okay. But as we well know that you need something to do and you're going to start something new. What would be the next project after CogNet if you had something to work on?
Not fishing and golfing. We covered that easily. For me, it's the application of technology and what I've already been doing for 35 years, which is HR. In this space, I have a friend who has a dream. He wants a system that makes coffee and does everything else that you'd ever wanted to do. But how do I shorten, a quote cycle, for example? I'm you. I need workers' comp and payroll. How do I get that? And can I get it like today?
Yeah.
Well, right now the answer is no, not even close. Solving a business problem like that, the one we've talked about is small contractors. So they come build a house, they do the roof for 3 months, they take 2 months off, they go surfing, they come back and do it again. They still need a cert or a certificate of insurance. They need to pay people. They need instantly to create this infrastructure. How do we do that? That's a problem I've always thought about wanting to solve. So I'd probably take some of my gold bricks and do that. I'd probably also be asked to stay at CogNet for a little bit. So I'd have to think my way through that. That's the reality of being a founder too, is if I sell it, great. I'm not allowed to go anywhere for a while. So you got to manage that side.
Yeah, that is interesting. Kind of instant infrastructure for businesses. I'm thinking that, down there in Florida too, you guys have a hurricane season every year. So there's just a massive flood of contractors that jump in to rebuild stuff or at least contain it, that could be a really interesting business.
Yeah, and some of the larger insurance companies have tried to do this, but they only do it in clerical and things where they don't take any risk. So, how do you help companies get infrastructure more quickly? And anybody can incorporate online fairly effectively. The question is, how do I magically have a business?
Yeah. Around hiring, do you have any advice or frameworks? There's that adage of, hire slow, fire fast. That seems to be like a pretty good plan. Anything you might share with the audience?
Yeah, they don't ever ask me because they know my first instinct is to say fire them and let's move on. And they hate that. So my HR person kind of surely hates to see my phone call come in. I think we're in a market that typically in a business, India BPO, the turnover is 100% pretty much for our space. We're about 35. And we try to make more of a science of hiring. Now, I'm very lucky in the fact that I have a minority investor who's just a highly intelligent HR guy, and he's retired. And we're going through a process right now where we're saying, well, can we build predictive modeling on hires? Now, humans are irrational, so I don't know how well that's going to work. But we're looking at all of our past data and saying, where did we win and where did we lose? And how can we at least understand that data when we go to hire? So we're trying to be more thoughtful on that end. We though are in the business of growing managers and growing people. So we've learned to be a lot more, I'd say, patient on that end. I have, that's for sure. Luckily, I don't make a lot of the hire fire decisions anymore. Smart people doing that for us. But I think the tough part of where I've been and with the seat I've sat in my past is that you tend to move on. I think I love the bus theory. We're moving around a senior manager right now. We need him on the bus. He's in the wrong seat. We just got to get him someplace else. I find more joy and more skill is needed in that decision-making process. Let's move somebody around than anything else. And then to see them go there and do well is very rewarding.
How do you do that? How do you figure out what a good position on that bus is for somebody?
I think number one is what is motivating them. One of the people that did fantastic where we moved her, the answer was money. Sometimes it's how many direct reports do I have? What do I see prestige or importance, or how because it may not be what mine is. Mine is profitability every time. Your group by group, how are we doing from a profitability perspective? Your employees, your managers may not see it that way. So putting that person in a position where there was, hey, great, if you can grow clients, we'll pay you for it. But that, I'm not kidding you, that took us 3 years to figure out, and it wasn't pretty along the way. So I think there's some science to it and art as well. There's a good feel aspect to knowing the people.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got a sales team and people aren't motivated by money, they are on the wrong seat in the bus.
I hated to say it. Sales is the easiest one. You either made your number or you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Staff accountants. How do you evaluate a staff accountant? I don't know. We closed on time again this month, but I may have the worst or best people in the world. I'm not quite sure.
What are some interesting things about Indian culture in the workplace that we might not know? I know, for millennials, it was like ping pong and kombucha on tap. What are the little perks and bennies of having an Indian team that they really like?
I'll tell you the thing that interests me hugely is they have their millennials as well. So, the younger kids in India it's a different path, but it's a similar path at the same time. The one that surprised me and still befuddles me is, their parents' involvement. Realize a lot of our younger kids specifically still live with their parents, and their parents are very, involved in their lives and where they work. And should I take this job? Is there transportation? Is there that? Whereas kids here are like, whatever. I'll move across the street for $5,000 tomorrow, and I don't have to ask mom and dad or anybody else. That aspect. The thing I love probably more than anything though is the intelligence gets applied. They love to understand a mistake was made, and they love to figure out why, and they're very transparent about it. I used to have to sneak into my office on a Sunday and, look at people's desk and find them hiding stuff on me that they screwed up that they didn't want to bring to the forefront. That cultural aspect's very different. Whereas there, 5-6 people will get together really quickly and say, how do we find this and make sure it doesn't happen again and fix it and communicate to the client and let them know? It's very much a group organizational thing, whereas here, not so much.
Interesting. I love the multi-generational living too. That's something I moved down south to the sticks a little bit. I'm down by Roxborough, probably, 15 miles southwest of Denver, so kind of in the foothills. And it's kind of a new
Hmm.
community. And we're probably 5, 6 miles from Lockheed Martin. That's all nestled into the thing. I don't know what they're working on, spaceships and rockets or something.
You probably don't want to know.
I don't want to know. I do because I also moved over here because I feel like it's a hot spot for UFOs, but that's beyond the point. But as a as a result, there's a bunch of Indian families here that are, engineers over at Lockheed, and they have their parents
Yep.
with them. So it's like, the nanas and the papas, the parents and the kids are all in the same house, and having kids. My kids are 17 and 18. I'm kind of looking at. I'm like, hey guys, look at this. Like, this would be actually really cool to like, you have dad around forever. You know?
We don't know our neighbors' names.
Yeah.
So, we're the opposite. I have a little game, but it's a parable, if you will. But every time I go over, they know I'm there, of course, because I've had to let everybody know where I'm at, when I get in, when I'll be in the office. And my driver brings me in. And I've literally tried to bribe him and say, John, do not let them know that I'm on my way. I want to just show up in the office and walk in and go talk to a couple people. They're working on something, and just kind of element of surprise, if you will. Never going to happen. It's a conspiracy all the way in. And my entire HR team comes down, including my vice president of HR. They are there with some gifts, some candy, some flowers. It's a show.
Yeah.
And this is just India. This is not for me because I'm the boss or the owner or any of that crap. It's cultural. The guest is king or queen. And I have literally for years tried to figure out how to get in that office without them knowing, and I just can't seem to get it done.
The surprise pop in. They'd probably see this disrespect. They're like, how dare you, John?
But they would.
Yeah.
They would.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just like, I know I'm going to pull it off one of these days. And I look at my own culture. I realize how American I am. I'm like, they want to carry my bag. Nobody touches my backpack.
Yeah.
Come on. My entire life is in my backpack. I don't let anybody touch it ever. So the little nuances come out when you do business in other cultures. And I tell you, I absolutely adore and love the Indian culture, and the food too.
You got to go incognito. You got to like show up with like a Easter bunny costume on or something and do like a little danceogram. And they're like, what is this? And then you'd be like, surprise.
Okay, I'll see how TSA likes that one when I come back through.
Nice. John, as we're wrapping up here, I know Justice Ventures is like near and dear to your heart. You want to give them a shout out and talk a little bit about the work they do?
Sure. One of my friends, Jeff Pancraft, started it, and he's an attorney, the DC area. He and I have done business in India together. He helps me out with some of our legal issues, but their goal in life is they go to Northern India. They pro bono represent people. And I know this will sound very strange, but there are still cases within parts of India where people are kind of indentured. Whereas, hey, you owe me a debt, you're going to work for me under terrible conditions, and this is the way it's going to be. They represent those people in court for nothing. So their charity is all about lawyers who come over, have lawyers in India, but also lawyers from the States, and represent people who are in bad situations and try to get them out of it. We love that. We also started something called Content Care. So locally in Chennai, where we are, we're out and about and get our folks out and about and do visits to orphanages, anything that makes sense for us. We let our employees kind of drive the bus on what they want us to go see or what's important to them. And that outreach is really important to me as well.
Oh, amazing. And that's justiceventures.org. People can check that out. Kind of as we're wrapping up here, what's on your media plate these days? Any fun movies or TV shows or albums or podcasts? What are you digesting these days?
I will admit that my girlfriend and I binge watched House of Guinness yesterday on Netflix.
I haven't heard of that.
And somebody else turned that way. If you're a Peaky Blinders guy,
Yeah.
same people. So it's about the history of the Guinness family. and the transition from when the old man kicked off to his children taking over the business. And I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan of reading business books. I'm in business all day. Yeah. I do like to read, but yeah, from a binge watching or media perspective, those are the types of things, how can I not be in the outsourcing business for the next 6 hours watching something like that?
Cool. I didn't even hear about this. I love Peaky Blinders and really just period gangster movies in general. My favorite movie is Miller's Crossing, which is a Coen Brothers movie where it's basically the Italians against the Irish gangs. It's great. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I kind of we joke. My girlfriend Sasha, she's fantastic. She's not a movie watcher. Me and my friends quote movies all the times. We'll come up with leave the gun, bring the cannoli. Let's just start there since we're both gangster guys. And I just get a look like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I could basically go all day just reciting Fletch quote.
Yeah. Or Ron Burgundy. What?
Yeah, man. I watched this new Bob Lazar documentary. I made my wife watch it too this weekend, which it's pretty cool. It's like really AI generated, but she wasn't buying it. She didn't think that guy saw any aliens, but it was fun. It was fun.
I'll check. Hey, well, AI might bring the Terminator to all of us soon enough, so we'll see how it goes.
I hope not. CogNet HRO.com. John, where's the best place for people to connect with you personally online?
The LinkedIn, so you can find me there.
Cool.
I'll be there all the time.
Wherever you're listening to this podcast, John's LinkedIn will be in the show notes. CogNet's website will be in the show notes as well. I really appreciate you joining me. It was so exciting to get to know your business, and congratulations on such success.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Here's what separates the founders who become icons from the ones who stay invisible: a weekly newsletter. Not because it's trendy, because Inbox is where business actually gets done. It's where investors read your thinking before they take the call, where future hires decide they want to work for you, where customers remember why they chose you. Your social posts disappear in a couple hours. Your newsletter compounds for years. Inbox Alchemy builds your entire founder newsletter operation from scratch. The writing, the design, the beautiful branded website, and a growth engine that takes you from 0 to 25,000 subscribers in your first 6 months. They manage everything, so your personal brand is working for you around the clock, building reputation, deepening relationships, and driving real pipeline, all while you run your company. The founders building email audiences right now are playing a game the algorithm can never touch. That's inboxalchemy.co, and go build yours. In 3 years, AI fluency will be a baseline expectation for every college grad, not a differentiator. It'll be a requirement. The students getting ahead are the ones building that skill right now, in high school and college, before it becomes table stakes. AInativestudent.com is the program doing that. Weekly one-on-one coaching, live cohort sessions, on-demand courses, and the fastest growing AI chat for students, all tailored to your student's specific career path. Pre-med, they learn how AI is transforming diagnostics. Pre-law, they learn legal AI tools. Business, they learn to think like an AI power operator. One flat membership, less than a private tutor, cancel anytime, and if you're a founder listening to the show, you already know the cost of falling behind. Don't let your kid pay that price. Go to AInativestudent.com, apply in a couple minutes, and get your student into the cohort that changes their trajectory. AInativestudent.com, and send them to the chat. It's totally free. Every week I sit down and ask myself one question. What do founders actually need to know about AI right now? Not the think pieces or the stuff that sounds impressive, the real useful put it to work today stuff. Then I write it up, send it to you in your inbox free. That newsletter is called AI for Founders, and I built it because I was tired of wading through hit pieces and people that are afraid of the future. Each issue I break down the tools worth your time, the strategies that are working, and the ways you can use AI to grow your company without burning out or getting left behind. Thousands of founders read it every week, and I'd love for you to be one of them. Subscribe for free at aiforfounders.co. 3 seconds to sign up, and I promise it's worth it.